Two people can earn the exact same salary. One of them will still be broke in 10 years. The other will be completely free. Same income. Same opportunities. Completely different outcome. Why does that happen? Because money doesn't start in your bank account. It starts somewhere much earlier. A place you've never actually looked. And today, we're going there. This is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker, one of the most talked about wealth books ever written, not because it teaches stock picks or business hacks. It does something rarer than that. It shows you why two smart, hard-working people end up in completely different financial worlds. In the next 10 minutes, I'll walk you through the whole thing, where your beliefs about money actually came from, and the shifts that separate wealth builders from everyone else. No fluff. Let's get into it. Here's the idea the whole book is built on. You have a money blueprint, a hidden script running in the background of your mind. It decides how much you earn, how much you keep, and how much you quietly sabotage. And here's the uncomfortable part. You didn't write it. It was handed to you. Think of the first thing you ever heard about money. Maybe it was, "We can't afford that." Maybe it was watching a parent tense up over a bill. Maybe nobody said a word about money at all. That silence taught you something too. None of it was random. Every phrase, every reaction, every money moment got quietly written into your blueprint before you were even old enough to question it. And blueprints don't stay in the past. They run on autopilot. That's why one person gets a bonus and invests it, and another gets the same bonus gone in a weekend. Same money, different programming. The good news, a blueprint can be rewritten. You just have to know what you're rewriting. So, let's go through it, piece by piece. First, how you see yourself. Before strategy, before investing, there's identity. Rich people say, "I create this." Poor people say, "This happened to me." Picture someone who loses money on a bad deal. One version blames the market for 6 months. The other asks one question: "What's my part in this?" Same loss. Only one of them grows from it. Second, play to win, not to not lose. There's a difference between protecting what you have and building what you don't have yet. One person keeps everything in savings because it feels safe. The other is looking for the next asset, the next skill. Comfortable and wealthy are rarely the same address. Third, commitment, not just wanting. Almost everyone wants financial freedom. Very few people are actually committed to it. Wanting is a wish. Commitment is a decision you build your week around, even on the boring, slow, inconvenient days. Fourth act, in spite of fear. Nobody successful is fearless. They just didn't let fear cast the deciding vote. If your mind is writing worst-case stories, apply anyway. Start it anyway. The fear doesn't have to leave the room. It just doesn't get to drive. Now, how you see the world. Your identity shapes the lens you see everything through. And that lens changes what you even notice. First, think bigger than feels comfortable. Most people cap their own income without realizing it. Not because they're lazy, because deep down, they don't believe they're allowed more. Here's the reframe. Your income is tied to reach. One tutor helping one student earns one income. That same tutor, teaching 100 through one course, earns from all 100. Same knowledge, wider reach. Second, chase opportunity, not certainty. One version of you looks at a new idea and asks, "What could go wrong?" Another version asks, "How could this work?" The second version moves. The first one is often still researching a year later. At some point, ready enough has to be enough. Third, admire wealth instead of resenting it. If you secretly believe rich people are greedy or lucky, You're quietly rejecting the identity you say you want. Study successful people instead. Not to worship them, to learn from them. Fourth, choose your circle on purpose. You start sounding like the 5 people around you most. If nobody nearby is building anything, notice that. Then go find rooms where people are. And fifth, think both, not either or. Career or family. Safe or wealthy. Most people accept these as trade-offs. But scarcity invents trade-offs. Abundance simply refuses. The real question isn't, which do I give up? It's how do I design a life where I get both? Now, your actual relationship with money. This is where mindset meets your bank account. First, promote your value. Quiet isn't a strategy. 2 equally skilled freelancers. One stays silent, hoping the work speaks for itself. The other shares it, explains the results. Guess who gets hired more? Being good isn't enough if nobody knows you're good. Second, learn to actually receive. When someone compliments your work, what do you say? Thank you. Or do you deflect it? Small moment, but it reveals something. If you can't receive a compliment comfortably, money and opportunity often get the same treatment. Third, get paid for results, not just hours. Trading time for money has a built-in ceiling. There are only so many hours in a day, but value has no ceiling. A business owner isn't paid for showing up. They're paid for outcomes. Different growth curve entirely. Fourth, chase net worth, not just income. Remember our opening line. 2 people, same salary, totally different outcomes. One saves and invests. The other spends every dollar as it arrives. Income is what comes in. Net worth is what you actually keep and grow. That's the number that matters. And fifth, give every dollar a job. Wealthy people aren't necessarily smarter with money. They're just more intentional. Split what comes in on purpose. Some for spending, some for saving, some for growth, some for giving. When every dollar has a job, money stops disappearing mysteriously. Last piece, playing the long game, because none of this works without staying in it long enough to compound. First, be bigger than your problems. Every ambitious path hits a rough patch. Small thinking says, this isn't working, I should stop. Bigger thinking asks, what do I adjust, and what does this teach me? The problem doesn't define the outcome. Your response to it does. Second, make your money work as hard as you did. Working hard for money and having money work for you are 2 completely different games. One stops the moment you stop showing up. The other keeps going, whether you show up or not. And third, never consider yourself finished learning. The moment you believe you already know enough is usually the moment growth quietly stops. People building real wealth are still reading, still adjusting, still asking better questions, long after they made it. So here's the truth underneath all of this. Nobody is born with a wealthy mindset. It's built one honest look at your beliefs at a time. That blueprint running quietly in the background of your life, you finally know it's there. And now that you can see it, you get to choose whether it still runs the show. That's the actual secret. Not a formula, not a shortcut, just awareness, followed by a decision. Repeated enough times that it becomes who you are. If even one of these ideas made you pause and think about your own money story, that's exactly where change starts. I break down one book like this every 2 weeks. The ideas that actually shift how you think, not just what you know. If that's useful to you, like, subscribe, and stick around. There's more where this came from.